right, everyone. 2024, Year of the Dragon, but it's also significant because it's 100 years of Hibernian House, the building we're recording in here. Iconic building on the corner. An iconic building on the corner of Kippax and Elizabeth Street. It's 5 floors of warehouse madness, mayhem. It's been there, done that, and it's got plenty more to come.
Full of ghosts.
Many ghosts. So I'm very fortunate here. I've got Ariel, a good friend of mine, and when I first moved to this building, she had a space next door.
She personally knows 5 of the ghosts.
I believe you lived here for how long?
Like, I had the Shadow Lodge for 13 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Were you in here before then in other spaces?
I think I'm counting the years that I spent downstairs with Jeffrey as well.
Yep.
So I've had a few different spaces in the building.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did the Shadow Lodge come about, and what first drew you to the building?
Well, my friend Bridget, that I know from high school, she was like my teenage dream that came and saved me in year 10.
Yep.
And we were like little lads together, and I knew her from that scene.
Yep.
And so we just would get like a pass from every class to do like graffiti murals and stuff like that. And she started living here, so I was visiting her here.
At sort of what age? Year 10, 11, year 12?
I don't even know, like... It was like out of art school.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe like 22, something like that, 23.
What was it like then? Was it?
Well, it was amazing because Ben Frost was here and he was living on level 1 and he was running a big open shared creative studio with all artists that he'd selected.
Wow.
Called The World's End on the same level. And like I would just go in there and hang out, and I had a few friends in there, and I would just like use their studios and hang around until I saw that there was a room going in the building, and then I moved into a little like suite with the stained glass guy, Jeffrey.
Okay, cool.
And I was down there in my little filth dungeon for like a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I still owed him some like rental arrears, and I like gave him a painting when I left, but he's a really, really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
And then... Oh, that's right. I met this guy that was living on the top, and it was like the penthouse suite, but it was abandoned at that point.
Yeah.
And it was just like full of like pigeons, and the glass was all broken, and it was like it was just a shit show.
Yep.
But Jared managed to get the suite, and he like on his hands and knees, I think he was on amphetamines. With like a little knife, like cleaned all the floorboards and like renovated the whole place.
Well, sounds like you need endless energy to it.
Yeah, so he was a photographer and he had the whole space himself just to do test shoots.
Awesome.
And I would just always come up and hang out in his place and like smoke his weed. And then I realized that I wasn't really interested in him. I just liked hanging out in his apartment.
Yeah.
So when he left, I was going to London, but I convinced Bridget to take it.
Yep.
And Bridget took it for a year, and there was no toilet in there. So she got, like, she painted like a monster, and she did like her best work, and she had like a great time in there, and she was running art studios and everything. But yeah, she did her health in because she didn't have like a proper toilet there.
It'll do it.
She didn't have a kitchen.
Was the building still...
And so then when I came back from London, I took it off her.
And that was Shadow Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the building then still creatives? Or was it... Because I got told
and
on
there was
this
a lot
floor,
more live-in spaces, and there was a lot more punks, and there was a lot more... sort of just like random collectives of creative people and musical people that would try to establish their suite, you know, and there was a lot of changeover and a lot of different scenes of people that would go through different places and like relationship drama in the building and everything. Like as it's gone on,
it's its own internal community.
It's become like more and more professional as it's gone on. But it used to be a lot of people living here that would just, you know, hide the mattresses when the council would come every couple of years.
Was the graffiti prevalent then, or did that come in later?
And it's been really sad because like the graffiti that was around when I first arrived was like archival graffiti from like the first people doing graffiti. And I remember I organized like when there was like different artists in town. Like, I remember one time I even got free paint off Adan, the son of the owner, because Retna was in town and I was trying to get him to paint the roof. Because I was trying to get people to do bigger pieces on the roof. And now there's heaps of big pieces on the roof after Jess did it, and then your mate Mayo did it as well.
Yeah, it's continually evolving, isn't it? So arts, obviously, you mentioned you've been to art school. It's always played a big role in your life.
Yeah.
What was the...
I've never been able to successfully do anything else.
Yeah.
Apart from music, but that's kind of like art and music.
What drew you to art in general?
I've always drawn since I was an infant. Before I could draw a perfect circle, my mum would draw ovals for me on a stack of paper and send me to preschool with that. So then I would like build my little princesses from the oval because I was too little to like draw like the face shape. I still have one of those little princesses as well. It's got all this like occult symbology in it. I'm like, what the hell? Why was I drawing like this when I was like 3?
Intrinsic, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe just the shit that my mum had around the house. As well.
For sure. Like I know when I came here, it was the Shadow Lodge, and there's been articles of you in like local newspapers and stuff, or like the High Priestess of Hibernian House. And you know, I remember when I moved here, I was like,
I was always here, you know, so everyone just like visits me.
Totally. I was like, you know, Ariel, this is Ariel's space, like give her all the space, be respectful. And, you know, and we had a great time over the years. So
it was good.
For me as well, it's great now, like jumping forward a little bit, that, you know, we're 2 nights away from, you know, your show coming back to Hibernian House on its 100-year anniversary. So it's cool. So in that time that you had the Shadow Lodge, it was a creative space. Lots of people came and went. Like 13 years. How do you compress that into 10 minutes? You can't.
Well, I mean, like at the beginning, you know, I had a lot of people involved and I had a lot of different like art spaces, and I was really on it and I made sure that they were always filled. And then over the years I started making more money off my art and my different side hustles, and I would, every time I could afford to, take over more space for my own art. And by the end I was, the whole suite was my studio, and I had multiple different projects that I was working on, and it was just heaven.
Because I think in the end you were doing, was it jewelry? Or
so I've got my big oil murals, and then I had my jeweling bench, and I was getting into learning like all of the aspects of that, and I'm halfway through these 3 bejeweled micro sculptures that are made of like full on the most precious materials that I've bought and like traded for as well. With paintings and whatnot.
Amazing. So one of the things we always ask here as well is like, one of the common themes is artists in general, but they've got tattoos. So where did tattooing start for you? Who did your first tattoo? What drew you to tattooing? And you know, obviously you don't have to go through everything, but give us some sort of rough guide.
I never ever thought that I would be tattooing. I never thought that would be something that.
But as like just a collector. Like how did that start off?
Well, I got my first tattoo when I was 16.
Back then.
And it was a notorious experience. It was ridiculous.
What did you get?
I got a Pegasus.
Awesome.
And I went in my school uniform.
Nice. Obviously you were in year 12.
And like halfway through, this like guy that just walked in off the street and he like chased him out with a baseball bat. And then another guy came and walked in and was acting like he like worked there, and was a guy that I'd met through one of my friends, who my friend's mum was dating him, and he walked in and he was like, "Oh, hi Ariel, how's it going?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "You're not 18. And
what makes you say that?
And Morgan, the guy that was doing the tattoo, like picked up his gun and looked at me and was like, and then I was like, "Yeah, I am." And then he just kept tattooing.
Perfect. Morgan's a legend.
Do you know Morgan?
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Tattooing out of Canberra now. He worked in the cross for years after Harry's.
Yeah, he did my first tattoo ever.
Awesome.
And then I just like scrapped and bargained for all my other tattoos.
Yep.
Like I've got all these Liam Sparks tattoos because my girlfriend was dating him, and we like literally cornered him in the shop one night and made him tattoo us like all night. Awesome. I made him sit for a portrait. He was not interested at all. And I was like, "Here, I'm giving you this portrait. Now you give me all these tattoos." And he was like, "Whatever."
And you friends with Tim from Melbourne? Tim used to come up?
And Tim, I met through China Heights, and he loved my drawings, and his girlfriend Tamsin was my friend, and she really loved my drawings as well. And they would always buy my paintings, and Tim would do whatever tattoos I wanted for free, because he's just such a daddy, and he's always had like an interest in fostering me and my art. And every time I get a tattoo off him, he like won't take my money, and he like takes me out to lunch and tells me everything that like I want to know. And
awesome. Well, we might as well go get to it. It's going to be all over the place, this podcast. Doesn't matter, right? You're tattooing now, because you used to hassle me to tattoo you or teach me, and I go,
I just always want tattoos. And I'm like, I always want them for free, and I'm like, if you're a tattooist, I would always leverage my next tattoo off my other tattoo, because I feel like people photograph me all the time.
It's
this
an
is
honor
Liam
to add
Sparks.
to the collection.
Like, this is Demi. Like, you want to be part of my like gallery, and I'd be like,
yeah, totally. So
them.
after you left Hibernian House,
it means I've had a lot of bad experiences with tattoos as well. Because
well, you've got the whole rounded,
and some of the worst have been in shops.
It's, times have changed, and artists have changed. Like you, for example, right now. You're tattooing, and
it's definitely made my approach to what you're giving people when you're giving a tattoo, like, want to be very particular and very different, and like what I think is the best from the sort of like shadowy tattoo history that I've had. For sure.
And but you're like the essence, for me, the essence of a true pure artist. You've lived that life for that long.
I fought my way here through the Goblin City.
Yeah, totally, and still fighting,
Take back the child you have stolen.
Yes. But like the tattoos you're doing from when you first got into it, I saw a couple on Insta or whatever. Like, you're just doing whatever, having fun.
It's like whatever I can get the chance to do, really. You know what I mean? But the more opportunity, like the more I'll be able to do.
For sure. Like when you showed me this capsule collection,
everybody just wants a little tattoo, So.
Shut up, let me talk, right? I'm trying to praise you here, right? Trying to give you a lot of praise, right? So from seeing that capsule collection out there, for me, a lot of that could quite easily translate into tattoos.
Yeah, I'd love that eventually.
Yeah, but seeing some of the stuff you've done, the illustrative stuff, the human form stuff, like you've got a really good handle of it technically.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to learn.
Very quickly, and I take my hat off to you. Like,
thanks.
You're doing really well, and just stay on the path you're on with it, and it'll take you anywhere.
Yeah.
And also
that's what Tim said as well.
It's your ticket to ride, you know, and you've now.
And talking to people like you and Tim is the only thing that gave me the confidence to start, because it's so intimidating in Sydney growing up here.
For sure. But I think now, like, I don't look backwards. I do with, my tattoo history stuff and everything, because I love it. But like right now here in Sydney, there's really you've got your licensing laws and all of this sort of stuff and sterilisation, but there's no like dark power that's going to come around and kick your door in and stop you tattooing.
It's taken me about a year and a half to sort of like really like get comfortable and not be afraid, and that's part of the reason why I'm going to stay in Sydney as well and just set up my own little private studio.
Yeah, totally, and that's the way it's going.
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, of course. Like
it'll be fine.
And you know, you've got such a long history here. You know, you've grown up here. You've got all your art connections here. You've got art connections all over the country.
It's such a beautiful city.
Totally. So. But now talk to me about this tribal tattooing you're doing, because you've spent a fair bit of time in Bali.
Yeah.
And is it the guys from the Mentawai Islands?
So I met them in Bali.
Yep. So tell us a little bit of this, because it's pretty amazing.
We're not filming now? We are? Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're rolling. But don't worry, it's like I said, me and you, it's going to go all over the place. We're doing this backwards. Okay. So we were going to finish with tattooing, but somehow we got here now. Okay. So we're going to, after this, we're going to go back to Bali, and we're going to talk through this capsule collection and the upcoming show, and then what you've got planned in the future. So talk to me about these guys, because you sent me some messages on Insta and videos, and I'm like, how the fuck has she pulled this off?
It's wild. It's just one of those wild things where it's like the people that you know end up being the most interesting people in the world.
Yeah, yep.
And I met these guys like, you know, Bali's a pretty special place, and a lot of really, really interesting people go there. Yep. And I went to like a psytrance stuff, and there was these guys doing a little like tropical pop-up in this tree house where they were doing like tapping with these really simple kind of symbols that you see people tattoo all the time, where they're like, you know, Algerian desert woman kind of like, you know, tribal tattoo. It's a definite style that once you know that is those are the Mentawai symbols, you're like, wow, everyone's been ripping this off. And that's what really intrigued me, because these people are like a living ancient culture, and they are what I believe to be the inventors of tattoo, and they have basically had to scrap their culture together from the past generation of industrialized Islam, dragging people with tattoos off to prison and like chopping down all the rainforest and everything, and like they're not allowed to be who they are because of that. But these young guys that I met are like the grandchildren of these tribesmen, and they have spent time with their grandparents, and they do go back home and they do all the ceremonies, and they've learnt all the symbols, and they have their new tribe of their guys that they've grown up with, and they do all of their symbols for their tribe. And these symbols are like 15,000 BC. They predate the Egyptians and the Maori and everything like that. Crazy. So they're like these, it's so occult to me, like it's so witchy to me, like it's so beautiful, it's so nature.
Perfect fit.
And the women, like they're so brutal, they don't even file the teeth, they like chip out their teeth so their teeth are sharp.
Wow.
Because
there's no, like, you're not following a pattern, it's just like random crack, whatever happens.
Well, yeah, it's a bit rough, but they basically do that because they hunt monkeys and they eat trees. And so the mothers chew the trees up and feed it to their children, and that's why they have the sharp teeth.
Excuse my ignorance.
That's their diet.
They hunt the monkeys to eat them. Okay, monkey brain soup.
They hang all the monkey skulls all over their house, and it's like, and they've got sharp teeth, they live in the jungle, they got these tattoos all over them. Like, they're the most like interesting, like legit, like Indonesians ever. Like,
and in like in a world, like, I guess to come from like Sydney's our most progressive city in Australia, to go there to Bali and then to find these people who are even deeper.
And then they just moonlight as these hipsters that just like travel around trying to remind people like of the Mentawai, like and giving people like legitimate Mentawai tattoos all around the place.
You've been tattooed by him, or did you get tattooed at that?
No.
Turn this aircon down. Did you get tattooed at that? Okay, cool.
Not yet. He definitely wants to tattoo me, but these guys from Byron, these brothers who do film and make documentaries on this kind of stuff, really want to come with me. So probably going to save that for that trip.
Awesome.
And we're going to go back to the islands and hopefully get to see all the houses with the monkey skeletons and meet the old ladies that passed on the symbols.
Yeah, so cool. Like I've done some little treks like that. Like I've been tattooed in Morocco by an old Berber woman, like in 2000 or 99, I think. And it's nice to go and do those treks and find this. And it's the first time I've heard of like Mentawai.
Yeah, well, that's why I really want to go there in an authentic manner and meet the old ladies and like ask their permission. Because the way I see it, like these are really, really, really old symbols. And the more authentic kind of learning I can do about these symbols, you know, it could be like this rite of passage to empower me to be able to tattoo the symbols and pass on this like ancient magic, you know. So I'm not like getting ahead of myself, but the young guys in the tribe, they're going to teach me and they say it's okay. I'm the one that says let's go back to the islands and double check.
Yeah, but that's like, you know, that's like having a deeper respect and understanding for it. So
because they don't know that their culture is being appropriated globally, you know, where they're just getting by, they don't even have passports and whatnot.
So after Sydney, how long did you spend in Bali?
I've been going back and forth to Bali since 2009, and the longest I've spent there is 8 months during the pandemic.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And whereabouts in Bali were you?
Just like on like the Bule coast, like Sese.
For an old bogan like me, who only knows Kuta, Legian,
so the furthest, coolest point of that is Sese.
I know Denpasar too.
Yeah, so it goes like Denpasar, Kuta, Seminyak, Pereiranan, Sese.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, Canggu in the middle there. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about this capsule collection. So I think it came up, you were here at one of the art shows here last year, and I don't know, we've always chatted about whatever, and I don't know if you said to me, can I do a show? Or I said, why don't you do a show? Thankfully, it's happened and we're here. And like I've mentioned before, going through just very briefly of the large body of work out there, you know, just saying it could be translated into tattooing, but it's phenomenal. A lot of it is...
I'm glad you think so.
Predominantly the female form.
Yeah, well, it's just all the models I could get. I could only really get one bloke. But yeah, he had a fit body, and I did quite a few paintings of him. I think there's like 4 or 5 paintings of the guy, but yeah, mostly my friends in Bali and some older, beautiful women that I know. Like one of the models is 61 and a big voluptuous woman, and my other friend who's quite voluptuous and really heavily tattooed is also living in Bali, so it was a good opportunity to do portraits of those interesting people that I know over there.
It's like you're the way I see you, you're a strong woman. You've always championed females, and it comes across heavily in your artwork. So, you know, to see
well, I am a female, so it's very reflective, you know, it's self-reflective.
Yeah, totally. And a lot of it's got occult, tattoo, everything rolled into one. You know? And it's a lot of powerful stuff. Like, can you talk to me? I was like, wow, what I just flicked through, and even some of the facial, just face, eyes and nose and mouth pieces, you know, like, power to you. It's fucking awesome. I can't wait to see it up on the wall and see where it takes you from here. So is it all painting, or is there sketches, or can you just talk us through it?
Yeah, well, I wanted to just do an exhibition because I was starting to feel better after having to leave here and everything going crazy for a couple of years. So I wanted to just sort of like just to do an exhibition just to start again. I haven't had my studio for the past couple of years, so I haven't been able to do my oil paintings. So I challenged myself to do a body of work with acrylic, which, you know, the upside to that is you can sort of do like a residency and bang out, you know, as many works as you can, because they can dry a lot quicker than oils and you don't need as much. So I was just really in this bare space that I had the opportunity to be in for a month, which is a really, really awesome, like just grey cement industrial large space. It's air conditioned and I can just like be in another world in Bali. And with charcoal and heaps of water and a big bucket of white paint. And just had my model friends, my friends come over and model, and just did as much as I could while I was there. And I was hoping to come away with 15, 20 pieces, but I pushed it and I made it to 30.
Amazing.
And the idea of doing those paintings was to support all the drawings that I've done as sort of one-off custom tattoos for the past year when I've been learning. So there's about 13 of the little drawings have made it into frames. So there's a few little paper pieces in frames and then unstretched canvas of all these paintings that I just sort of churned out in this one space.
Love
so it's
it.
really monotoned.
When you were doing all this, was like, did you have like some sort of structure, or did you just turn up at any time of the day when inspiration struck? Or
I'm a wee hours of the night kind of girl. So I was just sort of like going out and seeing my friends and having a good time, and then like getting down into it during the day into the night, taking some edibles and just losing my mind in that space like I do. And some nights I pumped out like 3, and then other nights, like the big one took me 2 days to do. And I was riding out on my little bike and going to see like friends that I wanted to model for me and taking photos at their places as well. Amazing.
So after, like, I love the fact that they're not framed or anything, because for me it's a bit of a personal choice. And you know,
because I've painted all the way to the end of the parchment as well. It's a bit of a messy style.
No, it's awesome. So Friday night we've got an opening. This will come out tomorrow night, which will be Thursday. And then is it running through the weekend, or what do you want to do? You tell me.
It's your gallery.
No, but you've got the keys, so...
So how long is the show on for?
Up to
when
you.
do I have to pack it down?
Up to you. You can do... I think we've got another one. What are we now? January? 3 weeks if you want.
What, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just planning to, like, photograph everything and put it online and take the show down and get out of your hair, because you were doing me this big favour.
I think leave it up. Like,
but if you want to leave it up... I'm happy to.
Yeah, cool.
Just tell me when to pack it down.
We'll work all that out. So after this, what's like, because this was obviously a main focal point of what you're going to do.
This is just a bit of a milestone for me in my recovery, basically. And I can't function without like a large creative space, and I've just been racking my brains how to have that again in my life. And so I think I'm going to bite the bullet this year and get really serious about making something like that again.
Awesome.
that I won't lose, that I can own, where I can do all my trades and my new trade as well, and have, you know, like the Emporium de Ariel.
Totally.
It used to be.
Yeah, this was such an iconic space, and, you know, I'm sure whatever you do space-wise in the future will be the same. So where are you living at the moment? You living in Bondi?
Just in Bondi, just like living the retired lifestyle.
Bondi's been good to you?
Yeah, I love Bondi. Like, I just love being near the ocean. So if I can, you know, Bondi is so great because it's so clean and it's part of the Sydney City Council, but it's like a beach. And a little beach town as well. So I can just like hide there. Not feel bad about like not leaving my house all day and then just go for a swim.
Totally. So you got this going on. Any like other goals or plans for the middle of the year or end of the year art-wise?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really just want to get going into being able to finish my projects, because I've got so many major projects that are like literally halfway through, and I can't do anything about it until I've got space again. But in the time where I haven't been able to work on that stuff, you know, I've still got my music, and I've been learning how to tattoo, so I'll just keep working on that. And I have written a whole new album, and I would like to start touring that.
What's the band called again? Because I know I've seen
I lost the band.
Well, just
It's just solo music, me on a guitar now. So it's like a country thing.
I saw you were recently on Insta in the country music festival. Was it that one?
Yeah, we went up to Tamworth.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a little bit too hot for me, but it was good to see the Golden Guitar.
Yeah, awesome. So you've had some amazing parties next door over the years.
Yeah.
Like the Halloween ones were always famous.
That's my way to socialize. Like just like hide all year and then like throw a massive party and everybody comes.
I think the first year I was here, Halloween was whatever, something was going. We could hear it going, and there were a few of us here at the shop having some beers or whatever. And then we opened the door, and literally the whole from the elevator, from the stairs down to the elevator, all the way across the bridge, all the way in your place was chocker.
Yeah.
And I was like, here we go.
And everyone's so well behaved as well, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we had a really good scene. So I since I've lost that space and I can't throw events, like Sydney is just like dead without me. Like, come on, like, what did y'all do like on Halloween? Like, what, like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's ever thrown a party like my parties in Sydney. No. So I really would like to get back to that tradition of doing events and doing that event in particular, because there's a lot of nostalgia and. Like we would have, you know, the best dressed award, and I would give like an original piece of artwork to the winner, so people would take it really seriously. And my friend Carolina, God bless her soul, she won like 3 years in a row, because she would just go all out and make her costume like all year. So it was a really creative event where a lot of really interesting, really beautiful people, a lot of models, a lot of dancers, a lot of artists could come and know that it was a safe space for them to just completely lose their mind. And it would just keep going, and nothing would ever go wrong that couldn't be fixed. And, you know, there'd be little dramas and people would just sort them out. And I would keep that community by making this really creative theme. And, you know, everyone would have to dress up to the theme. I didn't necessarily have to know this person who was in my place, but if they were dressed to the theme, then I know that they know somebody else that knows me, so they're still responsible.
All on the same wavelength.
And this is the way we would have, like, I remember one party that was like 500 people. And nothing, you know, got broke. No windows got broken. You know, the cops didn't come. Like,
Good times, good times. Well, I'm excited to see what happens on Friday night. I think it's going to be a hell of a lot of people here.
Hopefully.
I can't wait. Young Henry's are sponsoring it.
Hopefully we've got enough drinks for everybody.
And if not, people can go buy some.
So they can come early if they want some.
What time are we kicking off?
Drinks. 6 p.m.
Awesome.
And I'm going to set up and do some live painting just a little bit before that. So people can see one of the paintings from the collection being done live with a live model, and then they can decide if they like it or not. And I'm going to have like a little live auction, and that painting can people can do the auction, and then we can give the money to Gaza. Because there's a slight theme of that. There's like a bit of Palestinian symbology in the show. Just a little hint.
Awesome.
So it would be good to do that.
I reckon we've covered some good stuff.
How long have we been talking for?
An eternity.
No.
I don't know, probably an hour. But what I want to do now is we'll shut this down. And I'll say thank you to Ariel, the legend. Like, and I don't say that lightly. Like, she's one of the most creative people that I've met in this building, and there's been a hell of a lot in here. It's great to see her.
And best looking.
It goes without saying. The high priestess of Hibernia House, the most best looking person in Sydney. And it's great to see you, like, this is your comeback show. Not even a comeback show, but like a capsule show.
A reconnection.
And it's so nice that we can do it on this floor.
Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure.
Having me.
My pleasure.
It's a really nice space.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And then it's just going to be cool to see where it all goes from here.
Yeah.
So anything you want to say? Bring your checkbook, bring your Bitcoin,
I mean, just come along, because I mean, I'm never going to stop doing what I'm doing, and this is an opportunity right now to get a piece of work from me that's acrylic that I've painted quickly, and this transition period of my life, so that I can go back to working with gems and oils, which you're probably not going to be able to afford. So
there you go. So humble.
So you should come now, because I really want to. I really want to be in my friends' homes again. You know, I painted this body of work with that in mind, where, you know, I want people to be able to buy them and take them home and just nail them up in their room and have some classic aesthetic in their house.
And it sounds like a lot of them are your friends that you've painted.
Yeah, so it's like you know, because I've done a lot of really intricate paintings that are really meaningful and really threatening, and not, you know, people get obsessed with them, but not everybody wants that just to have in your house to make you feel good in the space. So that's why I painted this body like the way I did, in so many different styles, because it's you know, I want it to be able to, like, somebody with a minimalist aesthetic to still have one of my paintings. So
beautiful tones, beautiful imagery. It's going to be good.
Yeah, everybody loves naked people.
Exactly.
Right?
On that note, thank you. Done.
Thank you.